Good morning, chickens. Yeah. My friend took a flat-nosed shovel home, so I gotta use a stick to clean off the perches. As soon as he brings it back, I need to clean the chicken coop floor out again. Look at all that poop. Look at all that poop. Yeah, the way chickens fly and poop. Can't have them laying down on their poop and just accumulates in their butt and clogs up their butt. And this is Missy's udder view now that she's sheared. Look at this. Thank you, my Annie. Yeah. Look at that. Full hand of udder and teat with no hair. I try to shear it on their belly in the wintertime, but it's all growing in front of my face, so I gotta stick my head down there. I can keep my head up right now. I haven't been able to do that all winter. Sit straight up and milk. I always like lean over on my elbow. Boink. Thank you, my sheep. Yeah. All right, lunch. I got a fly flying around here, so I'm gonna have to slide it back in the goose and protect it. Thank you, God. Almost Jimmy, a little overcooked. Good sheep. Good donkeys. I'm making some more ghee with my sheep's milk. Ghee is the most preservable form of milk. So that's what I try to do with the beginning of each lactation. Beginning of the lactations have the most milk. So it's quickest and easiest to do a little bit larger batches. And so yeah, I take advantage of those large milk batches. Large milk peas at first. And make large batches of cream. My cream separator, and I shake it into butter, and then convert it into ghee, so it's preservable. And in my evaporative cooler, this ghee will stay good for 6 months to a year. Basically making my entire year's cooking oil supply right here. I already got almost a half gallon stocked up, and we'll see how much cooking oil I use in a year, see how long it takes to go through that. I don't need to rely on store-bought olive oil or anything like that. I can create my own. If I run out, I can create more. I think a half gallon should last me a good part of the year. I can't imagine needing to use much more than that. And then next year I will modify my stock and stock up more stock up less, according to what happens this year. It's all an experiment. Experiment in rewilding. I'll let that simmer for another 5 minutes and the layers will re-separate and there will be a little bit more cream of that nature on top, and the heaviest stuff will fall back down to the bottom, and I'll scrape off that second top layer and then pour off the middle ghee layer, and below it will be little ghee crusties. That'll be good. I haven't had those for a couple weeks. All right, it's done. Take it off the heat. Put my cheese on. Come and get it, chickens! Chickens! Yeah. I need to get some kind of an animal that can subsist primarily on my sheep's whey, because I don't really have much of a use for it. It's too hard to find use for it and process it down into a preserved form. And it's too much protein. I can't consume that much protein. I'm not a bodybuilder. I'm not that active. Alright, then I cut it. Flip it over on itself. This is going to be a cheddar cheese. This is the cheddaring process. So this is how I do it. Prop it right there. Prop it right there with the side handle propped up. And what that does is allow for the perfect temperature to reach the curds. Not too high to where it scalds the bottom side, but yet it's heated up enough to help the cheddaring process. And I will pour out that whey. Whey will double here in like 5 minutes. And then I will pour it out and I will flip those two pieces so the top one is on the bottom. And I'll continue to do that, emptying the whey and flipping those curds like 2 or 3 times every 20 minutes. And this is the cheddaring process. This is how I do it. All right, now it's cooled down enough. It's not gonna crack my ghee jar. The contrast of the cold and hot. It's not gonna thermally shock it. Alright, so we almost have a half gallon of ghee. Just gonna leave that there, drip it. Yeah. Look at all those ghee crusties. That looks excellent. These are the 2 pieces. Yes, I washed my hands. Smashing this apart into its individual curds again. Now we'll salt it. My favorite part, finishing the milling. It's very cathartic. There, now after I mill it, fully break it up and salt it to my taste likings. Push everything to this side. So then I push everything to the side. One full, and I take one handful at a time, press the remaining whey out of it. See, there's quite a bit of liquid still left in these curds after trying to drain them let them drain for a while. There we go. And I stick them over here. And I go through it and I do that one last hand press before sticking it in the cheese mold. Going for a hard aged cheddar. Happy chickens. Got my friend's beef, my property friend's chicken's eggs, and my sheep's cheese. Loading it with cheese. Trying to get rid of these cheeses that I made with this mold because I don't like how they're rounded on the edges. I mean, I like rounded edges, that's the whole reason I got them, but this is too rounded. So I found a happy medium, my other favorite mold, so I've been making cheese out of those to replace these in my cheese cave. Try to eat it down as quick as possible. I love classing my sheep's wool. I got that fleece over there, one inside that tub, and this is my ram's. My ram's entire back felted, just like how Missy's was all one felt last year. When she was given to me, she hadn't been sheared for like 2 or 3 years, so it was extra thick, and I was able to, it was already felted, so I was able to just stick it here and further felt it into my cushion, and it's been excellent. Yeah, so I'm gonna do that with my ram's fleece too, because as you can see, it's all one piece that will stay together well enough until my sitting on it repeatedly felt it more and more. So I'm gonna take it, fold it over so that all of these cut ends that are more penetrable and more mixable with each other than if I were to fold it the other way with these loose ends. These would just like, ends would buckle in on each other and it wouldn't felt together nearly as well as these newly cut ends. There we go, that's all even. Bunch it in a little bit. I like the shabby look of it. It's cool. All right, and that's all the waste, all the stuff that's from his butt or his legs that's too felted and too dirty and too short. This is Missy's felt. I'm gonna go through this one next. Stick this over here on the bed. This is fine wool. I really like her wool. She has the finest wool out of any sheep I've ever had. For real. I gotta make some clothing out of this for this winter. Well, it looks to me like her entire fleece is usable and very nice, except for like this stuff right here. Majority of her fleece though is like good, which is, yeah, it's a higher percentage of usable stuff than most fleeces. Here's some other short matted stuff from her britches, her butt. Pull that off. All right, after filling up that black bin with loose wool and dumping it out on this tarp, wetting it down and rolling it up for 20 minutes, this whole thing has shrunk down to this. So small, but it's just the right size to make 1/3 of a vest. You'd have to make a 4th one if you wanted to make the sleeves. It's the right height to make a vest, and my shirt actually here is a lot wider than it needs to be. It actually bellows out in the back and looks stupid. So if you just make 3 of these pieces, 1 of them for the back and 2 of them for the sides, you can make a vest. That's what I'm going for. Easiest way to make a vest is to fill up one of those bins 3 times and make 3 of these panels, and then sew the 2 front panels to that 1 back panel, and it's for my size, 5'6", 130 pounds, perfect size. Might need a bigger bin to make bigger panels if you're bigger than me. And you roll it up in different directions. Like this would be rolling it opposite direction. And you also want to start that in and roll it from that direction. Start this in and roll it that direction. Start that side, roll it that direction, and flip it over and do it the side. Do the sides the same way. You want to do eight different directions, different edges, and 2 sides. So you're gonna end up rolling it up 8 different times at least. You can go back through like I'm doing right now and roll up each of those edges and sides a second time, and it'll felt it up a lot more densely, and it'll last longer, and it'll be more abrasion resistant. It won't snag on things, and it won't pick up things like little sticks and stuff and debris. So all in all, it takes about 4 hours to fill up one of those bins if you're hand carding, finger carding, as long as the wool locks that you're pulling apart are fresh and they're not pre-felted. If they're pre-felted, this method doesn't even work. You have to have fresh, unpre-felted wool locks. You'll need to stretch it apart, pull it apart every couple rolls, make sure it's not shrinking too much. And that it's keeping its general rectangular form. So as you can see, half of the front of this shirt, if it were a vest, it'd be the same size as this. So 1, 2, and then 1 on the back. Even though this shirt's back is wider, it's way wider than it needs to be. It like bellows out away from my back. It's pretty stupid looking. So yeah, and you can easily make 1/3 of a vest in about 5 hours. It takes about 4 hours to hand pick the wool apart and about an hour of working it like I just did. So about 15 hours to make a vest out of wool. And it's much easier if you do this standing next to or sitting at a sturdy table rather than sitting on the ground in cross-legged position. Boink. Thank you, my sheep. Yeah. Thank you, God. All right, about to have my friend Cindy's cow meat, and I'm going to have my sheep's cheese and my farmer's egg. This is a soft bee lens bacteria cheese. That's like the stinky cheeses, like the Limburger. It looks creamy. These cheeses are always nice and creamy. I put too much salt in it, but other than that, it's amazing. So all I gotta do is dilute its saltiness by not putting so much salt on the dish. Yeah, awesome. And my sheep's ghee. Fry up my sheep's ghee. That's so good.